All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today for another AMA here on the Polygon Discord. Today we have a really special guest. We have Harshal from XADE Finance. How are you doing today, Harshal?
Yeah, hey everyone, and I'm doing great today. And so let's talk about DeFi and let's talk about Zed.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I'm really excited to talk about XADE, but really quick before we dive into that, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let us know who you are. Like, what's your backstory? What's your background? What got you into and what got you into the crypto space?
Definitely. First of all, hey everyone, so I'm Harshal from Zed, and I'm the founder of Zed Finance. Before building Zed Finance, I was an avid quant trader, and I started at the age of 14. I'm 16 right now. I started at the age of 14 when I got into the space in around the summer of 2020. So I started like everyone else. I invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But I realized investing was not really my game. So then I got into quant trading around the basically the bull market of 2021. And I like when I was trading using multiple arbitrage bots, and I was trading across different centralized exchanges and DeFi. I realized that DeFi has the potential to change the world. For me, DeFi was created to replace banks, and its potential is as big as the computer or the internet. But as of today, but when I was using DeFi, I was not really getting that feel. For me, DeFi was all larger than life, but the real world experience was not something that I expected. Most of the protocols had a tedious user experience. They had no mobile applications. They had no, it was very difficult to use. The UI was made for nerds. Similarly, there were issues with the sustainability. Most DeFi protocols were offering 20%, 100,000%, and unrealistic APYs. Stability and security was a big issue in the space. And lastly, real world collections and real world utility was an issue in the space. So when I found these problems across DeFi and from a few problems which I have faced myself, I decided to start Zade Finance. And all of our team members, we onboarded all of our team members via hackathons and Discord. And yeah, so that's the story about Zade.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a really you sound like such incredibly intelligent for your age. There's not too many people doing what you do as young as you are. I'm curious, like, most people your age are in high school. I don't know. I'd love to hear like a little bit more about your life, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, for me, I mean, I'm just into two things. So for Zeta, I have designed three. So I'm a financial nerd. Right? So I trade across multiple protocols, and when I'm free, I just create multiple bots to conduct arbitrage. So before creating Zade, as I've already told you, I was a quant trader. I'm still a quant trader. Uh, I've created multiple arbitrage bots, which, which basically which basically conduct arbitrage, which I mean they conduct arbitrage operations before there is a price impact. So we collect the data from the order books and different AMMs, and therefore we can go any other arbitrage bot out there. Other than that, like I started coding when I was 8 or 10, when I was maybe 8 years old, and I got into finance in the summer of 2022. I would say when I got into crypto. So yeah, that's about me. And regarding like what I do in Zed, so for me mostly it's managing Zed. Like I gotta stay awake around 18 to 20 hours a day. So that's my. So I think the only thing that I don't enjoy is sleep. I just don't get to sleep a lot. That's the only drawback I would say. So yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. It's awesome meeting someone so talented at such a young age. So yeah, great, very great to meet you, Harshal. And yeah, I'm excited to find out more about Zaid Finance. It sounds like you guys have a very solid mission statement. Like you've identified a really key problem with DeFi, and you're bringing some solutions for it. So I'd love to hear more about what users can do today on XADE Finance. Like, how can users um, tap into XADE Finance and its potential?
Definitely. Well, so first of all, before getting into XADE Finance, I would like to talk about DeFi. Right, I have mentioned some problems about DeFi, like while I was explaining about what led me to create, like, why did I create XADE? So, well, so in DeFi, there are three major problems today. First problem and the biggest problem today is the user experience. So, DeFi, like DeFi, was created to create a more accessible financial system. And to create a more accessible financial system, we need to have a perfect user experience, or a an experience which is very, very easy to use. So, the first problem today in DeFi is the user experience. There are 6 billion mobile users in the world, yet most of the DeFi protocols today do not have any mobile application. They have UI which is created specifically for nerds. It is not appealing to the masses. It took me $10 and three wallets just to just to buy a token on Solana. This was my first experience with DeFi. It was basically buying a token on Solana using the Serum DEX. So so first of all I had to buy it. So I had to first of all I had to buy USDC from a centralized exchange. I had to bridge it to I had to bring it to MetaMask. I had to bridge it to Solana, and then I had to then I had to get at least like 2 to 3% slippage to buy a token on Solana on the Serum DEX. So this is what triggered me to create XADE Finance as well. And a second issue is the sustainability and security of the space. Today we have got protocols which are offering very unrealistic yields, and they are providing us with unrealistic incentives. Right. So in order to there have been multiple scams, and there has been a rat race among multiple protocols to provide the highest yield in the space, which has led to it has led to a it has led to a fear among the users. Like, DeFi is not safe. Many people today over here are here to make money. They are not here to use it as a financial service. Another issue with DeFi today is that there are multiple protocols which are not providing any real world utility, and they are only here to make money. An example I would give is about yield farming. There are multiple protocols out there which do not have sustainable economics, and uh, and since they are not solving a real problem, uh, that's an issue. And another issue is the real world connections in DeFi. DeFi today operates in a closed economy with no connections to the real world. There are multiple protocols such as CredX. There is Goldfinch trying to bring in uh, real world assets on chain, and making DeFi more accessible to the real world, but it's not as high on the priority list as it should be. So when we found these problems, we decided to create a hybrid solution between traditional banks and decentralized finance. We have created the world's first super decentralized bank, which provides all the banking services on chain, starting with three protocols: Derivex, Remetex, and Sabex. Remetex, which is a payments protocol, which allows you to send payments across all chains to mobile numbers and email addresses. We have got Sabex, a money market protocol, which allows you to borrow against real world assets, including real estate, real world assets uh, such as cars, collectibles, etc. You can also borrow against multiple ERC20 tokens with no credit score checks at a fixed rate. Therefore, you will not have to suffer through the variable rates of compound and Aave. You can also, and our savings account, which is created specifically to beat inflation. So our savings protocol is created in such a manner that every user get an yield which is designed specifically to beat inflation. And lastly, we have got a feature which is currently, which is, I mean, this feature has been used a lot, which is Derivex, a derivatives protocol, which allows you to trade more than 5,000 plus markets, including stocks, crypto, commodities, forex, ETFs, and much, much more on the blockchain with 10x leverage. The most capital efficient system that you will find today in derivatives in DeFi. Uh, we have created a counterparty system which takes all the which takes your counterpart which takes the counterparty positions in Derivex and hedges their position with their real world counterparts. So, for example, if you open a $10 long position on Tesla, Derivex, Our counterparty will take a $10 short position against you in derivatives, and they will basically hedge the positions by buying $10 worth of Tesla in the real stock market. And ZAID generates and ZAID takes a 0.3% fees on all these transactions, and therefore they will be able to earn from these fees. So from these protocols, we have created a hybrid solution which provides you a user experience of a neobank, which is indistinguishable from the likes of Revolut, Monzo, or any other modern fintech application. While our infrastructure is completely decentralized and uses our own in-house DeFi protocols, which are designed specifically to replicate real-world banking services. So if I was to describe ZAID in just a line, it would be ZAID is a hybrid solution between traditional finance and decentralized finance. We provide the user experience of traditional banks, the real world of traditional banks, and the efficiency as well as the security of DeFi protocols. So I would say that's what ZAID is.
That is incredible. It definitely brings up lots of questions, though. I'm really eager to find out more about how all of this works. I think the most important and most pressing question, though, would be how custody of users' funds is handled, considering the whole fallout going on right now with FTX.
Well, first of all, we believe the one of the biggest features of DeFi is non-custodial wallets. Right? And your, like, in DeFi we say not your keys, not your money, and we strongly believe in that. So ZAID is completely non-custodial, and the best part is ZAID, creating a wallet is very, very difficult. We have got seed phrases, right? We have to remember those complex seed phrases and complex addresses. We have partnered up with Web3 Auth to provide you social media logins, and we have replaced your public addresses with mobile numbers and email addresses. So therefore, we have made a creation of a wallet much simpler, and we will provide you an experience of a custodial wallet, the user experience of a custodial wallet. But in the backend, we will be providing you a non-custodial wallet. So therefore, ZAID is completely non-custodial.
All right,
And
that's
all the
amazing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
everything, yeah, and everything happens on chain. So no activity like fiat ramps. We provide you fiat ramps. We have partnered up with multiple fiat ramps such as Transact. We have partnered up with OnRamper, Wire, etc. And we are also in talks with a few more. Also, we have introduced something known as ZAID P2P, which provides you it's basically automated P2P. It's something that we have introduced. Unlike traditional peer-to-peer fiat ramps, which I mean, I would say they are a bit risky. We've created a completely safe P2P fiat to crypto ramps. So what our ramps do is like we hold the crypto in escrow for at least 5 minutes, and if your transaction is not concluded within 5 minutes, the entire transaction will get reversed. So that's something that we have introduced with ZAID P2P.
That's pretty cool. I actually do a lot of like P2P transactions myself, like between like me and my IRL friends. So just have something like that integrated in an application. I see a lot of use case for that. Um, and that is like kind of like a traditional way. A lot of people bought their first bitcoins, right? Is just by buying it off some local guy who had some, right? So yeah, that's really cool to be integrating. You were talking before about yield on the platform, and I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit further on how the yield is generated.
Yes, definitely. Well, I mean, first of all, I just need to clear one thing. All of the yield generated, we generate all the yield on USDC. All of the yield is generated by lending it out to other people. But mostly what happens is there are not enough borrowers to generate that yield. Therefore, we need to partner with multiple people, and we need someone who can basically borrow. And the main reason why there are not enough borrowers is because there is like you cannot borrow against real world assets. So therefore, we have introduced to generate the yield in ZAID for money markets, we have took three measures. Those three measures are: number one is we have partnered up with we are partnering up with multiple protocols which lend out USDC or our deposits to real world businesses on credit. We have also done partnerships who lend it out to institutions as well as they borrow them themselves. Secondly, we are introducing real world lending, which allows you to borrow against a variety, like it allows you to borrow against a variety of collateral, including real estate, and I've already mentioned it before. And lastly, we also borrow again. We also borrow in the protocol by putting up some collateral from our trading operations, which is conducted by me and my other team. That's how we generate the yield in XADE.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. And, it's just important to always clarify where the yield is coming from because we've seen a lot of um, platforms offer high yields and not have a sustainable source of yield. So, I like this new narrative that's forming around sustainable yield sources, and I hope to see that continue. You've named already like tons of partnerships. Like I believe you mentioned like 3 different protocols that you've integrated and several fiat on ramps. Um, I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit further on like all your key partnerships and the significance of them for XADE Finance.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we have integrated. Let's talk about our oracles. Right. So traditionally, many people. So the most used oracle is Chainlink, but we are using Redstone oracles for XADE Finance. So there are 2 reasons why we are using Redstone oracles instead of Chainlink. So the major issue with Chainlink today is that Chainlink is slow and Chainlink is expensive. Whereas Redstone can provide us with very very fast oracles. Like they can provide us with data feeds with with latency rates as low as 1 seconds. Whereas for Chainlink it can go up to maybe 30 minutes, and we are talking about feeds like stock market price feeds, as well as inflation data and and the price of crypto assets. So Redstone Oracle provides us with very low cost oracles, which is like, I mean, they're free right now, free and fast oracles. We have got Web3 Auth providing us with social media logins. We have partnered up with Transact. Basically, we have integrated Transact. We have also integrated OnRamper, Wire. Uh, we also, I mean, we are right now we are integrating right now we are integrating this Coinbase Pay, and we are also integrating uh, MoonPay. These are the fiat ramps that we are integrating. Other than that, for real world lending, we are looking to integrate Centrifuge. We are in talks with Centrifuge. We have not confirmed this partnership yet, although we are talking with Centrifuge for real world lending. We also generate some yield from Goldfinch. We are also in talks with Credix. Credix is on Solana, so we are talking about, like, we are in discussions on how we can get it on Polygon as well. Those are some of the partnerships that we have in Seed.
I'm honestly just blown away that you're only 16 years old and you've founded such an incredible project. By the way, I do want to mention everybody, if you have any questions for Harshal, make sure to drop them in the text channel so I may read them out for him. Um, Harshal, how long have you? When did you say you first started working on this project? And you mentioned that your mainnet launch is right around the corner. I'm curious, like, what are some like key um, achievements that you've made, like, while building this out?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, so let's go for a history lesson. So initially, when we started Seed, our only goal was to fix the user experience, and at that time, we were on the Terra ecosystem. We all know how that ended. So we were leveraging the infrastructure of Mirror Protocol, Anchor Protocol, and all the DeFi protocols on Terra. Right? But around May and June, like when Terra collapsed, our entire infrastructure had collapsed. It had collapsed as well. That's when we realized like our goal was much larger than we thought, and that's when we realized that we need to create our own infrastructure. So in a bit to create our own infrastructure, we decided to relaunch Zade in the month of May. We started building Zade on Terra uh, around January of 2022. like we had conceptualized this idea. I mean, we first threw around this idea like in May 2021. I would say May June 2021. We started working on this since January of 2022, and we started working on getting it on Cello on Polygon. I would say June of 2000. Yeah, after the Terra collapse, just immediately after the Terra collapse.
Okay, cool. I see a lot of potential for these types of platforms that abstract away the complexity of DeFi. I think it's like a huge segment to be targeted, right? Because like if you think about our aunts, our uncles, grandparents, even siblings, like a lot of them, like you said, this is built for nerds. A lot of them aren't gonna have the patience to get involved with this. They're not going to see it as a significant improvement to the existing financial system, which is very slow and clunky, right? So in order to like draw these people in, we need things like XADE Finance that are simplifying the process. So I'm really curious, like what is next in the roadmap for XADE Finance, and how do you envision your future? Like what do you predict for yourselves, or what's the dream? Like how would you like where would you like to be in 1 year from now?
If you ask what's the end goal for Z, it's the entire financial system. But if you're talking about the immediate roadmap, so we are launching on the Polygon mainnet on at the end of this month. That's 30th of November. And after that, after that, we will be rolling out features in the entire month of December. We are initially launching with the web app, and we are targeting students and the biggest critics of DeFi. Therefore, students and the critics of DeFi will be our early adopters around Q2 2023, and yeah, end of Q1 to 2023, and starting of Q2 2023, we will be deploying our mobile applications on iOS and Android. Uh, we will also be deploying a protocol InsureX, which will bring in insurance, and it will bring in real world insurance, as well as a spot markets protocol, which will give you direct exposure to traditional markets like stock markets and forex markets, etc. It will basically be tokenized stocks tradable via a DEX, as well as you can basically trade traditional cryptocurrencies as well. And all of this will happen in 2023. We also aim to introduce multiple money. We also aim to introduce multiple stable coins. Like we won't be making it, but we will be integrating other stable coins by like let's say for example Circle or Tether. We will be introducing the Euro coin, Ana coin, the Real, etc. So that's the immediate roadmap for Zaid. Introducing more protocols, introducing more stable coins, and launching a mobile application. While we will also be targeting people from countries which have a high inflation rate and a low and very low interest rates.
um my next question was, do you have any competitors, and what would you say allows you to stand out from them? Like what is your competitive advantages? But I feel like you've already hit on so many things between like a wide offering of products and a self custodial wallet.
Well,
What would you say though is your like key competitive advantages?
lucky. I mean, I would say our best advantage is that what we do is we take the best of everyone. If you have a competitive advantage, we want to put it on our side as well. That's what makes us special. But if we are talking about our competitive advantages, we have four. Number one is our infrastructure is completely decentralized and non-custodial. Everything happens on chain. Provide 100% transparency, and we provide 100% on chain. Like we are completely on chain. So being transparent and non-custodial gives us an advantage. We are also completely decentralized. Whereas our user experience of a neobank provides us the familiarity of traditional banks. No DeFi protocol today acts like a traditional fintech. They all are Web3 native. DeFi protocols are Web3 native. Like unlike traditional fintech applications like Revolut or Monzo, where I can just sign up with my email and I mean those apps are pretty easy to use for anyone. DeFi protocols are not made for everyone, so that's another advantage. We are widely, like, anyone can use XADE. The third advantage is that all of our protocols are designed specifically to replicate real world banking services, which makes us sustainable and innovative, as well as most efficient out there, because we have removed all the middlemen from this equation, and we have made this. And also, one more thing, we don't have any token incentives. Once we remove the token incentives and the token play from our protocols, it makes us sustainable, as well as like, we don't have a token to boost, right? So that's what makes us sustainable. We are completely transparent about our fees, and we function in the most simple way possible. We take a flat 0.8 to 0.3% fees. So that's, I mean, I would say our simplicity is what makes us different from others. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal answer, and he actually just answered my next question too, which was, how do you guys earn revenue? I don't know if you want to expand further on that or not. And I was also curious, how large is the team behind XADE Finance?
Well, we have 10 members and 2 advisors right now. Our team comprises of, like, as I said, we are building a hybrid solution. So even our team is a hybrid. I've got people from Web2 who have experience from companies like Microsoft, Amrock, Sales, and Stephens Investment and Stephens. Uh, our DeFi team consists of people who have experience with DAO, Redx, and MeanDAO. So that's our team. We have a 10-member team which is highly technical. We consist 8 developers, 1 designer, and I mean, I'm the, like, I literally do everything. Like, I'm the manager. I'm also the marketing. I'm also into, I code sometimes. So yeah, and our 2 advisors consist of, uh, like, our 2 advisors are mainly who help us out with token with with fundraising and marketing. So that's our team.
Incredible. Um, and yeah, it makes sense. I was reading a thing yesterday about how Elon Musk believes in having small teams of like top notch people rather than like a large team of mediocre people. He thinks it's much more productive, and that sounds like what you guys have going on. So that's phenomenal. Um, wow. Okay. I feel like we've covered so much already. Um, what are you most excited about when it comes to like Web3? What are your thoughts on the future of the space in the industry?
Well, I mean, see, I mostly specialize in DeFi, but I definitely follow the Web3 space as a whole. For me, Web3. I mean, see, it all started with DeFi. Web3 space started with the creation of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was created to solve the issue of global payments. It was, like, in the white paper, it's described as a peer-to-peer payments protocol. So therefore, I always believe that DeFi is the biggest use case of Web3. So as of today, Web3 faces a big issue of utility. Like, with like every creation, such as the internet, such as the computers, we need to find out what the real use case of Web3 is. Today, we are getting everything on Web3, whether it's a decentralized social media, a play-to-earn games, uh, I mean, literally everything. We are trying to get everything on chain, but blockchain-based systems are not really the most efficient, because there's several things. Even Elon tweeted yesterday that having a P2P mesh system is not sustainable, and it's very slow. So I'm going to talk about a few things, such as play to earn games. You have got yield farming. There are decentralized social medias. There are several elements of Web3 which do not make a lot of sense, because either don't need it to be on the blockchain, or the economics are unsustainable. So those are some of the issues that I mean, that's with the Web3 space, other than DeFi. Now, when I'm talking about DeFi, so I think I've already covered a lot of stuff about why DeFi today is flawed. But if I'm talking about the DeFi space, I think DeFi needs to be more secure. It needs to be regulated. DeFi needs to be regulated, and it needs to focus more on real world utility and making quick money for its users. So, yeah, I think that's my thoughts on the Web3 space.
Yeah, I think those are great thoughts. I'm curious, do you want to elaborate further on your thoughts surrounding regulation?
Well, yeah. So I mean, we see we see a lot of tweets and multiple people speaking against regulations, right? And I mean, having I mean, see, DeFi is such a thing. Like I mean, DeFi does not for DeFi or crypto as a does not fall under a single company's jurisdiction. It needs to be regulated. The reason being, I mean, governments. See, finance is a major element of governments. But if you remove finance from the control of the governments, it will lead to anarchy. Right. And I mean, having an anarchy, I don't think so. It's a good government. I don't think so. It's a good system for the world. So therefore, we need to have regulation. Regulation will be good for the space. The reason it will be good for the space is because regulation will reduce the number of scams. It will make the space a lot more legit. Lastly, it will remove the fear from the minds of the people that whether the space is illegal or not. That's why I believe that it's very important that the space is regulated.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense, and I agree with that. I'm curious though, what in specifically like do you think needs to be regulated? Because I think a lot of stuff is just it operates fine on its own, like it's kind of like these trustless systems that you can just depend on, right? But yeah, I guess there are like a lot of points that could benefit from regulating. I don't. What do you think?
So first of all, I'm just gonna get into the most basic. Like, I'm gonna just talk about the things that need to be regulated. Let's talk about tokens. They've got multiple tokens which are actually which perfectly fit the definition of securities. Yet they are traded in the crypto markets without any due diligence, without any regulation, without any regulatory body. There was a reason why the SEC and multiple securities commissions were created, right? Uh, they were created to make it a fair game. They were created so that insider trading is not possible. They were created so that we have a fair, it's a fair market. In DeFi, there are no such regulations, right? So we openly see insider trading over here. We see multiple rules being broken. We see volume manipulations and literally every type of financial scam. That's one. So that's a space that can be regulated. Another thing being, I would say, global payments, inflow and outflow of money from a country, that needs to be regulated. And lastly, I would say the protocols. I mean, I would say DeFi protocols. So we have seen multiple rug pulls. We have seen multiple. I don't know. We have seen multiple hacks in the space. There needs to be a mechanism in which the users can be safe. They can safely use these protocols. In a traditional company, you will go to jail for you will go to jail for fraud. That's not what we have in DeFi. I mean, people are anonymous in the space, and therefore you can just conduct rug pulls and just go away without being caught. So those are some things that I believe that needs to be regulated. Although there are many more examples. I mean, I don't want to dive into the
Yeah,
into so.
yeah, no worries. I think you're absolutely correct on a lot of that. I agree with you. And to me, the big ones are probably fiat backed stable coins and like wrapped assets like wrapped Bitcoin, that kind of thing. Because those kinds of tokens really make up a lot of the total market cap of DeFi and just like the whole backbone of the ecosystem, right? So if those things aren't actually backed as they're meant to be, then a lot of things fall apart. So that is something I think is important. Gets some regulatory clarity. Cool. That was a fun kind of conversation to go down. back to XADE Finance. Um, is there anything else that, like, specifically that you want to talk about regarding Finance that we haven't already?
I mean, I think yeah, I think we have covered everything. Also, I think there must be a question, that must like many people must be asking like, how is Zate Finance safe, considering the current market conditions and considering everything that's been going on in the space. So I'd like to answer that.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's cover that a bit more for sure.
Okay, so I think so in this space we have been seeing multiple scams, rug pulls, exchanges going down, and everything. Everything is basically going to zero. So how do we know which protocol to trust and which protocol to not? So I'll share something about Zade, which makes us better, which makes us safer than others. So first of all of our code bases are audited by MH audits. That's number one. Number two is our code base is completely public to the users, and if anyone finds any flaw, they can just hop into our Discord and just tell us about it. Therefore, we will solve the issues. Every all our documents are public, and everything about and yeah, all of our code bases are public. Everything that goes on in Zaid is public to everyone. Transparency is our number one priority. Number two is number two, I would say, is everything happens in a completely non-custodial and on-chain manner. Therefore, bringing in therefore you can just see whatever happens. And Lastly, I would say our team, they're not anonymous. All of our team, like about you can see all about our team members on our website across all our socials. And if you have any issues, just you can just take it up with us. Right. So those are the three major things that I would say with Zaid. And lastly, we do not have a token to pump, therefore we cannot rug pull any token, we cannot rug pull any NFTs, we cannot scam the users. The reason being, everything happens via smart contracts, which are available to everyone. So I don't think so. We have like there is any possible manner in which we can scam or the users can get, that can get exploited. I would say. Also, we do not list any illiquid tokens, and we do not support any illiquid tokens. So that's another thing.
Right. And did you say it was Web3 authenticator that you use for sign in?
We use Web3 auth.
Awesome. Yeah, just wanted to clarify that. Um, where is the best place, or how can people get involved with Zaid Finance today?
I mean, as a user or
Anyway, any way they can.
well, what does that mean? Join a Discord. It's the best place. You can reach out to all of our team members. You can reach out to me. You can, you can literally do anything on a Discord. We are pretty active on a Discord. We are very active on a Discord. So if you have any questions, if you want to interact with our team members, just hop onto a Discord. So that's the best way that you can connect with Zaid. Or you can reach out to us via Twitter, via mail, via we are available via every medium. So, yeah.
Perfect. And this is also a great opportunity right now to ask Harshal a question directly. If anyone would like to drop a question in the chat, feel free to do so. And also, Harshal, just to like clarify, you mentioned the mainnet launch date is at the end of the month, November 30th, right? I want to say. And are you guys open for like a public test net right now? Are people able to test out the app on? Um,
Well, we actually had a live testnet. We recently closed it off because it was on Celo, and right now we are migrating to Polygon mainnet. So like the users can use our testnet again from 25th of I would say 25th of December. That's when our testnet goes live again.
okay, cool. I think a good thing to talk about would be like you previously mentioned that you're originally building on Terra Luna and you're also building on Celo and now you're launching on Polygon mainnet. I'm wondering if you could elaborate further on your choice of blockchains and why you chose them.
Right. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm choosing Polygon. The thing with me, like the Polygon Plasma chain, is a good technology. I believe Polygon Zero Knowledge EVM is the future. So for me, Polygon Zero Knowledge EVM solves the blockchain trilemma. It provides you the composability and the security as well as the decentralization of Ethereum while providing you the scalability of any other layer one such as Solana. So it is solving the blockchain trilemma, and that's the main reason why I'm building on Polygon. Other than that, I mean, we had a testnet on Celo. The reason being we wanted to give the users an experience having like we want like Celo provides you CUSD for testing. CUSD was a very good medium for testing, as well as Celo introduced us to a community which was untapped for us, and it was the best way to get early adopters. And regarding why we chose Terra, at that point Terra was very stable. I mean, at that point they had about like they had billions in locked they had billions in total value locked in, and at that point it seemed too big to fail. That's why we chose to develop on top of Terra. That's that's about our choice of the chains.
Fantastic. I think that's an amazing reason to build on Polygon. And yeah, I'm really excited to have something like XADE Finance building on top of Polygon, because what you're doing, it sounds amazing, and I am very excited to test it out personally. Full disclosure. Um, all right. Well, I feel like this has been very comprehensive. Um, a really good overview of all things XADE Finance. I think we've done a good job answering any questions anybody could have had. I don't know, Harshal, do you have anything else that you want to cover?
I think we covered everything. So yeah.
Perfect. I have your links in the chat. So we got the website, XADE Finance. People, if you want to go check that out, the Twitter, go follow XADE, and the Discord is there as well. So make sure to join that so you can stay up to date on all the latest um, things going on with XADE Finance. Harshal, it's been incredible having the opportunity to talk to you. You're so talented and gifted. Super happy for you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks a lot for having me on this CME. Definitely. And
And
it's really great to be on Polygon. So yeah.
hey, you're always welcome back. And thank you everybody for coming out today and listening. I have a bunch of POAP links, so stick around. I'll be in the text chat. I'll make sure everyone who'd like a POAP can get one. And with that said, I think we're good to wrap things up, Harshal.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks again, everybody. This has been such a great AMA, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thanks everyone.
Bye now. Just message me in the text channel if you'd like a POAP. Have a great day, everyone.